welcome, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Three Conservative Gimps. I am back in the saddle again, feeling much better today. The shoulder is healing up very nicely. I just have a really stiff arm. I can't do this yet. I get it right up to there, and that's about it. So, still working on it. We got a ton of stuff to talk about tonight. We got primary elections, we've got shenanigans, we got fixes, we've got Nazi candidates being winning primaries. We got it all. We're going to talk about Iran and everything. So we got a great show for you tonight. So, and as soon as Lloyd, well, you know what? I will switch it up. Let's welcome all the way from the blue state of New York. Let's welcome Charles Gillespie. Welcome, Charles.
Hey, Art. Everybody in the chat.
And how's everything going in New York? How's the weather out there?
Oh, it was brutal today.
Brutal.
It was. Yeah, we've been getting started getting FEMA. See, today's Thursday. Started getting FEMA warnings like Tuesday night.
Wow.
High for what they call high heat index, because it's not the temperature like was 90, which in and of itself isn't necessarily that bad, but the humidity was just insane.
Right. Even though you're inland, you're only maybe 150 miles from the ocean. You're still getting a lot of moisture, and then you got the lakes around you. You got the Finger Lakes. You got the Great Lakes. You know, to the west.
Well, yeah, and I think I'm probably at least the linear distance of Massachusetts from the ocean. And then if you want to go south, the next watery area would be down by Long Island, by like Manhattan, Long Island.
Right.
And that's quite a ways. I thought that was like 250 miles or so.
Okay. Alrighty.
But yeah, I think it's more this like the polar vortex thing. Yeah, the air temperature is coming up, but it probably had carried with it, or still carries with it, a lot of moisture.
Right.
I think I'm just guessing.
All right, this guy doesn't have a lot of moisture, but he sure can get hot. Let's welcome Lloyd Mendenhall.
I don't know what was wrong. I was there. I don't know why you didn't see my camera.
Well, because you were down like this.
I was just reaching for something. I
thought, maybe
said that.
Maybe his shoe fell off or something.
But we do have moisture. It was humid as hell today. It was 90 degrees and about 80% humidity. It was just swampy, and it's made it hard to breathe. I had to get out today. I mean, literally. My AC was working great. My car, as soon as if I rolled down the window just that much, I just felt the
hot air just blowing on.
Oh my God, yeah, and it was just thick hot air, and we were running high humidity today. We were in the same position you were, Charles. So
yeah,
it was it was horrendous.
We had to go places today. We had stuff to do. And when we didn't actually have the AC on, my mom, even though we had the temperature control set for as cool as possible, my mom was like, "Where's this hot air coming from?" And I put my hand over by the dash, over by the CD player, and you can just feel the heat rolling right off the dashboard.
Yeah,
right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was horrendous here today. I got out for a little bit, and I came back in. I was just dripping sweat. So I got my I got my arbor press in, and I needed to put a board across it, or build a platform for the neck to fit on.
Right.
And so I built one. Believe it or not, it came shipped. It had 4 pieces of wood that surrounded it, but
Cool.
they were just thin plywood, and they wouldn't. I tried to make one, it didn't work. So I started over, went and got a good board, good flat straight board, and made the platform for the neck to fit on, and
Cool.
uh, but yeah, so I had to get out in that and picked up a couple clamps and stuff. But yeah, it was just absolutely
Mm.
horrendous today.
Well, it
We got
was
storms coming in tonight and tomorrow and the next day and the next day. So
cool and breezy here in the Denver area. Today, the company bought everybody In-N-Out Burger. So they had a truck out in the parking lot, and it was not only our company but the company right next door. So got out there and got one of those double cheeseburgers. Oh God, it was good. And potato chips and a Coke. And boy, it was a nice lunch. But I was under like a little tent thing, like a pergola thing,
right, right.
and in that shade, it was a little on the chilly side.
We
But
got some cooler weather coming in a few days. It's going to be, today it was 91 it got to.
wow,
And uh I think by Sunday it's going to be like 78 will be the high. So
wow,
that's pretty good drop. That's 11, 12 point drop.
yeah, that's good. All right, let's get going. We had some primary elections this past Tuesday,
Yeah.
and the big news is coming out of California, and the people we thought that were made it into the general election got knocked out in the last elections, and that shows you how effed up their elections are.
Yeah.
They're still counting ballots.
Right.
I,
Yeah.
I
I don't know why
swear they're just
you
counting them to see how much they need to knock out the conservative.
well, and
And
that's it. I think they should have quit counting once they got in who they wanted because obviously they didn't have to bring they didn't have to find any more votes. They got what they wanted. Yeah.
right,
Yes.
hmm
It is my daddy used to say that place is crooked as snake shit and twice as yeah, it's crooked as snake shit. Anyway.
yeah, crooked, yeah, and so it looks like Pratt and Hilton got knocked out. So it's two Democrats running against each other. So that's
Wait a minute. Wasn't one running for mayor and one was running for governor?
yeah. Platt,
But he'll
Spencer Pratt was running for mayor of
mayor,
LA. He
right.
got eliminated by that
Yeah,
councilwoman.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Hilton was running for governor, and he got knocked out by the other Democrat. So it's going to be two Democrats running against
Oh,
each other.
okay.
You
I
got to
didn't realize
remember,
Hilton had lost
California
too.
has
Yeah.
what's called a jungle primary, to where everybody's on and only the top two candidates get to, and that they did it that way so they could make sure that conservatives will never win another race in California.
Yeah. Well, they're going to lose a lot more
And
business.
that's coming to more states. They tried to get that passed here in Colorado, and I think they're still trying to get it passed in Michigan. And
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it won't pass here. I don't think. I doubt. At
oh,
least I
it's
don't
not
think in
yet.
my lifetime.
Well, I mean, these are in blue states, you
Right.
know,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
so they get lock up the control of the state, you know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's why Texas is now known as the headquarters of headquarters.
Right? Yeah, because all the
Because
companies
all
have
the
moved to
giant companies are leaving New York and
California.
mainly California. Yeah,
Yeah,
most of them. I just hope that they don't bring uh
their
their
liberal voting
politics, their
patterns.
liberal. Yeah,
When did
Yeah, as far
Uh,
as I know, he's in the runoff.
all right. I
I think
could
you
be wrong.
misquoted that. Yeah, I was going to say I think you're wrong on that.
Okay, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You
Yeah,
know,
I don't think that they do that in the mayor's race, but I don't think they can do that in the governor's race.
I think in the governor's race and the primaries, it's the same thing. They have what's called a jungle primary where all the candidates run.
As far
You
as I
know,
know, he was still in the running, and they'd called the
I
race.
all right. Let me see if
Yeah,
Hilton made it.
yeah. Trump-backed candidate Steve Hilton advances to in California governor's primary. So
All right, general election.
they're in. Yeah, Yahoo News even has it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought you were wrong on that, but I thought, well, then I misunderstood because last I saw Hilton was in the primary, unless.
Yeah, he was in the primary. They just had it, and
But I mean, he won. He won his
okay,
primary.
I just saw at USA Today. Hilton and Becerra advanced to gen. Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I thought you were wrong on that.
All
Hilton,
right, because the other day it sounded like Hilton got knocked out too. So,
no,
but
no, I
thank you
think.
for clarifying that, Joe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks, Joe. I thought that was the case. I thought you were wrong, but I wasn't gonna. I hadn't looked at it. I would have
Mhm.
sent you the link after the show probably if I'd have found it because last I
So
saw he had won in his primary. So
in LA, you got a choice between a communist and a socialist. Yay! You
yay,
thought
yeah.
LA
Well,
was
LA
a
gets what they. You know.
yeah. Hmm. I think it's going to get so bad there that even the entertainment uh, companies are going to say, "Screw this!" They're going to leave.
You
But
know
you
it's
know
going to be
what?
bad when when all the bald ones move out.
Yeah. Hmm.
That's when you know. I mean, Steve Baldwin, yeah, he's already out of there, and
Right.
but
Yeah.
I think the other Baldwins are still there. Yeah, and I think I agree with Joe. Hilton will win. He's
Uh,
got the better chance. I think that's you know, yeah, I think they want they might like a primary like that, but I didn't think their state for governor was like that. I think that was a
all right.
pretty
Well,
yeah.
I I
Got to
welcome
quit getting your
clarification.
news off of CNN there, buddy.
Well, we
I
got
thought
that.
Fox had called it. I thought Fox had called it that
Okay.
night or the next
Okay.
day. Yeah. So, yeah.
And then we got Herr Plattner winning up in Maine. Yeah, the Nazi
Yeah.
guy
Yeah.
who says anybody that tries to break in my house, I'll rape them, but not in the gay way.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and he's going what against who's he going up against?
I think Susan Collins.
Susan Collins. Yeah.
Yeah,
She hasn't been defeated yet. She's been
no, no,
so, uh those were the Democrats, but when it comes to the whole state, because they were interviewing these people. Well, we do our own thing here in Wisconsin. Well, yeah, you do, but they were
Wisconsin,
just interviewing or whatever state it was, Michigan,
Maine.
whatever, Maine, one of them
Yeah.
damn Yankee states. Anyway, you know, no offense, Charles. Uh, you're one of the few Yankees I like. Well, you and uh, uh,
Captain
uh,
Ray.
yeah, Captain Ray. Yeah,
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 he's in Long Island. So,
yeah. But he's a part-time Southerner. I'll give him that.
yeah, he is. He's a
He
snowbird. They
he's
call
a snowbird. He is a part-time
him.
Southerner, so I'll give him that.
Hmm.
And uh, and then of course you got the guys from Rhode Island and
Oh, Dale.
Dale, yeah,
Yeah,
Dale and Brian and
Brian
those guys.
and Paul. Well, Paul's in Massachusetts.
Still a damn Yankee.
Yeah.
What the hell, Massachusetts? They damn sure fought on the side of the North.
Yep.
During the War of Northern Aggression.
The Northern Aggression. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, we was all happy and fine.
Yeah.
And I did check. Oklahoma is technically below the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah, but they weren't even a territory. Were they a territory then? I think it was Indian. It was a big
Yeah, because
reservation.
we were never a reservation.
Oh, okay. I know they shipped up.
It was a territory, but it's called Indian Territory, and it had been a
Oh, okay.
territory since 1846. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And they didn't become a state until 1907.
that's correct. In
Mm-hmm.
1907, they became a state, but
Yep.
they but they did fight on the side of the South for the most part. Most of the Native Americans fought on the side of the South.
Mm.
Funny that.
Yeah. How that? Yeah.
Well, I think they were just anti-Yankee soldiers. Those blue
Right.
coats just bothered the hell out of them,
Right.
understandably.
Mm-hmm.
But
Alrighty. So let's get back into politics
oh
and
yeah. Oh, that's cool.
history.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I mean, Plattner, he won like overwhelmingly, like 90%.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
Jeez.
it's like
Well,
Indian, you get a Nazi tattoo, and they're okay with that. Funny.
yeah, they're the ones that call us Nazis, and yet
Yeah,
the things that they teach and that they follow is more closely related to Nazism than anything we've ever,
right.
we as Republicans have ever done. I was watching the hearings, or I heard some comments about the hearings on the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Yes. Oh,
And
yeah. Oh, that's another good topic.
yeah,
There about
they
that
were
hearing.
they
Oh
were
man.
yeah, they were talking about, they asked that guy about it, but they were referring to, hey, you know, they got all that money in, and they went out and spent, bought 100,000 pillowcases uh for their friends in the Klan.
Yeah, ones with eye holes in.
Yeah, ones with eye holes, pillowcases with
Uh-huh.
eye holes. Yeah.
That's right. And the guy's name was Fair.
Fair, that's right. Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did
Yeah.
you notice how Jasmine Crockett was spewing that lie about Charlottesville?
Oh yeah, she was just off the rail. Who was the other one? The other.
Delia Powell, or
Yeah,
that gal up
yeah.
in Washington
Those two
State.
were just so far out of reality.
Oh, I know.
You know,
They keep
I just
throwing
hope
out
Trump
that
doesn't win the Senate seat.
debunk,
Yeah,
Charlottesville.
yeah, 10 years ago, 10 or 15 years ago, or
Yeah.
whenever it was. Yeah, it was 8 years ago, whatever it was. It's been
Mhm.
quite a while, and it was debunked well, right after
Right.
that. So
Yeah.
yeah, she just is uh and was she the one that ended up walking out? Which one was it that walked out?
Oh, I
They had to go
know.
do something.
I think it was some other representative that just got really kerflumped and walked out.
Yeah, walked out.
Like,
Yeah, yeah,
oh, come on.
yeah. It was it was atrocious, and the
Yeah.
fact that the guy said, well, he wouldn't vote for Planter. Well, yet you provided cash and money to Nazi organizations, the neo
Yeah.
Nazis and the Klan, and
Mhm.
it's just
And they
they're
call Moms for Liberty a hate group.
oh yeah, I'm
Antifa,
really
not a hate
I'm
group.
really scared of those moms. Them moms scare the
Yeah.
shit out. I don't know. Some moms can be pretty pissy, but
Yeah.
uh,
Well, they can be pissy when the curriculum that they're school
Right,
is not
that was
what they
that's what it was
want.
all about, was they didn't want the school boards telling them how they could raise their kids,
Right. Hmm.
and that's what it was all about,
Hmm.
and,
Well, they
yeah.
basically go after any group that doesn't follow their political views.
Oh,
Anything on the right. Oh yeah,
oh, yeah,
that's
yeah,
a hate
yeah,
group.
yeah, I know, and, either wanting him to spy on the Catholic Church, and they just did all sorts of, uh,
Hmm.
and for him to sit and he could sit there and he still tried to defend the Moms for Liberty,
Hmm.
choice they made. It's like, uh,
Right.
how out of touch with reality are you? And that's this thing. Their whole idea was to keep this country divided.
Right.
You know,
Hmm.
prior prior to prior to the George Floyd thing, actually
Oh,
prior
prior
to
to
the Obama
Obama.
prior to Obama being elected,
Yeah.
this country, had gone, and I heard Tyrus the other night. He says, this country, they've gone so far that, yeah, there's some racists out there. There are some, but for the
Yeah.
average person, most of them are so far. Yeah, it's been gone for so long that now they've just had to make shit up, you know,
Yep. Hmm.
and that's all
That's
they're
right.
doing,
Hmm.
because
Oh,
that's where
and
they get their money.
and I believe I heard that they're going to release more FBI transcripts of the MLK files, and we're going to find out a lot of shit about MLK that it doesn't paint him in a good light at all. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
Where
never thought of Martin Luther King because, he was really a conservative. I mean, that's the problem.
no,
They
he
are so
wasn't.
far.
That's the another thing. He
Oh, is that
really
another thing that's
wasn't.
coming out? Yeah, I
Yeah,
hadn't.
he was
Okay, I haven't.
actually a communist. And if you listen to some of the stuff they talks about, you'll be surprised and you'll think, wow, that's the same shit
Well,
I hear from the Democrats
yeah,
today.
yeah, and granted, that may be true, but if have the files been released yet?
Not yet. They've been sealed, and I
Well,
think
wait,
Trump,
I'll wait to
somebody's
make
not
judgment on what other people say about him until I see the files. You
right.
know,
Mhm.
and you
Well,
got to remember who was in charge of the FBI then.
yeah, that's true. J.
J.
Edgar
Edgar Hoover
Hoover.
did not have a good track record himself.
Hmm.
There's a lot of stuff that come out of his office that I don't necessarily believe or trust, you know?
Right.
Uh,
But
so
it'll be interesting to
it'll be
see
interesting to see what's
what's
said,
in
but
the files,
you
and
also got to remember when that stuff was done and those were when all that stuff was recorded. This was during this was during the beginnings of the uh, 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 not
civil
equal
rights
rights,
movement.
civil rights movement,
Yeah.
and a lot of those people, uh, a lot of the Democrats, they were very prejudiced, and uh, one Hoover was one of those. He was one of
Yep.
those people that was like that. So
Right.
I don't put a lot of trust in what J. Edgar Hoover has to say.
Right.
Yeah, because he was pretty he was pretty bent himself when it come to
Right.
certain things. He had political agendas, that he was trying to, uh, he was going after too.
Mhm.
So we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everything I've read about Martin Luther King was, he was a Baptist minister.
Yeah.
He was against the violence. Uh, he was considered conservative by today's standards.
Right. Hmm.
You know, and so we'll wait and see. I mean, when I was a kid, I had no use for Martin Luther King, but then as I grew up and I started reading things, I started it was one of those. It makes you stop to think,
Right.
and so I I I don't follow a lot of people that go out on these limbs that say, "Oh, he was a socialist, he was a communist, he was a." I don't even trust those that say he was an ultra conservative. He was, he
Right.
was. Yeah, but I try to look, so again, I'm not discounting that what you very well may be right,
Hmm.
you know, but I've also heard he was a spy for the uh no,
Soviets.
Michael.
Hey,
Well,
Michael.
no. He was working for the FBI,
Oh, okay.
trying to
That's
find.
interesting.
Yeah. So I've heard that too,
Hmm.
just like Elvis Presley was.
Right.
And
Right.
Elvis Presley was a big supporter of the black Americans.
Right. Yes, he was.
He
So,
grew he
so
grew
was
up
Donald
around them.
Trump.
Huh?
So was Donald Trump.
Yeah. Oh, here's a little. Speaking of Donald Trump, here's a little trivia that I found out yesterday.
Okay.
When Nikolai Tesla died,
Hmm.
right after he died in a hotel, pretty well penniless. He owed $400 or thereabouts, and the FBI. He had these trunks and trunks and trunks full of stuff, and the FBI went in there and they boxed it all up,
Right.
and then they hired an electro engineer or an engineer of some sort, a specialist in his
Yeah.
field at the time, to go over and basically look through it all, see what it was, explain, what it was, write reports on it. And it was either the uncle or the great uncle of Donald Trump.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Hmm.
Basically, it was they were going after. He supposedly had a death ray up there, and that was part
Wow.
of the reason. And it turned out there was just a bunch of diodes and stuff in the box that
Are you
it
talking
wasn't.
about the thing that happened up in my area?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah.
That's literally 5 miles away from my house.
Is it okay?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Well, part of the reason they went in there is to get this death ray that they thought he built, and it turned out they think it was just a ruse that he was using to keep the people from trying to force him out of his room because they were scared of the death ray that he supposedly had tested and built, and
Okay.
because
Mm,
yes, they're up in New York. They did do some. He did do. He had some. He had several experiments that he did up in that area.
mm-hmm.
You know, uh, because but towards it's kind of sad towards the end. But his
Yeah.
Thomas Edison's the one who ripped him off.
Yeah. Mhm.
So all of you Yankees up there need to boycott Edison Electric if you get it.
Well, he was good buds with Henry Ford. Yep.
Who Edison was?
Yep.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
They uh they moved his Menlo
Park, yeah.
park. Yeah, they
Yeah, to
moved it
Michigan.
to
Yeah.
Michigan. Yeah.
I've actually seen it. I've actually seen it. I went through there and
Yep.
back in 1978,
Wow.
summer seven no, 79, summer 79.
Hmm.
Went up through there, went up through and we stopped in and
I
uh
think it was at Greenfield Village that it's
yeah,
at right there. Yeah.
yeah, we stopped in there and we did that. We did
Did you see the
stopped
Wright
at
Flyer
yeah, yeah,
bicycle shop? Yep.
right. Saw that, saw the Ford had museum pieces, it's all part of the big thing that Ford put on,
Yep.
for
Oh,
built
the
that. Yeah.
museum is my favorite
Yeah,
place. They've got
I went through the
they've
museum.
got trains, they've got
Right, yeah.
automobiles, and oh,
Well,
they've
they
got
have
the replica of the Spirit of St. Louis that Jimmy Stewart flew in the movie.
in the movie. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Well,
they
they've got
had
Denver International or Stapleton Field. They used to have a Wright Flyer uh hanging from the ceiling in the
I,
airport.
Yeah, I think they moved it over to DIA. I think it's
Yeah,
there. I think so.
yeah,
I could be wrong.
yeah.
But
But I
yeah,
remember
they
seeing it
even
as a
had
kid.
old television and radio there. Wow, which
Yeah,
was
I remembered because they showed, I don't know, they in that one they had the second Ford car that was built, and
might
uh
be.
and I think at the actual factory they've got a display room where they have the first one. Well, the third one ever built was down here in Muskogee,
Oh,
because
cool.
James C. Lake, who was the largest, he had the largest collection of Bentleys and Rolls Royces, individual collection of Bentleys and Rolls Royces. He had a museum.
Right.
He had three different buildings full of them,
Wow.
and he had the third one that was built, and the guy that one of the guy was it was a convertible, and he was redoing the top. Well, he was redoing all the interior, and of course,
Oh, cool.
I got to go over and see it because I worked for him, and so I saw it every day while I was in the shop, and I became friends uh, with the guy who eventually, unfortunately, passed away from cancer, and he's a really nice guy though. But James C. Lake, well, he did too. So something about that shop. Uh, but anyway, so yeah, like we said,
Okay.
talk about Edison. Yeah, so
Yeah,
uh,
yes.
yeah.
Well, speaking of Edison, what's going on over in Iran?
Uh, 2 or 3 nights of bombings,
Three
you know?
nights. Wow.
Yeah, they bombed the shit out of them last night,
Yep. And
and
didn't
while
they
they were
use
bombing,
some bunker busters?
I don't know what they used, they haven't really
Yeah,
talked about.
because they
No.
knocked out some of their warehouses where they were building the missiles,
Yeah, well, they took out one of their, petro
nuclear.
plants that they're
Yeah.
well, they no, they took out one of their petro plants that they were
Oh,
using to build for the fuel that
oh, okay.
runs them, that so they took that out. They took out some other infrastructure, they took out quite a bit.
Right.
And then they, of course, took out, bombed 3 different ports, as well as a bunch of, some of their radar installations that they were using to
Yep.
control, their control for their drones and rockets, and they
Right.
took out a lot of their rockets. And apparently, when they started the bombing again last night, uh, the whoever's in charge over there currently called during the strikes and asked, "Would Donald Trump uh, please stop?" Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and so today he announced that they have a memorandum of, it's a understanding, MOU,
Oh, MOU.
and it's supposed to be signed in the next few days, possibly when he goes to Geneva. It has everybody from Saudi Arabia to Israel to the UAE, everybody from Qatar to Oman to Egypt to
Right.
the whole Middle East is on board with this. It's all got their
Oh, that's
backing. So,
good.
and there will be
And
no nukes.
no
No, no,
nukes.
no nukes. Yeah,
Okay.
at
And
least
are we
that's the
going to get some of
understanding.
that material? What's going to happen with that?
Well, I think that's what they're working on. But under this memorandum of understanding, here's the other thing: they will, until it's signed, they will not. Even during the negotiation, we're still going to keep the blockade in. And here's the thing: if at any time Iran uh, uh, fires on one of their neighbors, whether
Right.
that be Israel or Saudi Arabia or Kuwait or any of them,
Oh, right.
uh, we have access to all of their hidden accounts, and that money will be deducted from those accounts and paid to the nation that they bombed.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
every time they bomb a neighbor, they've got to pay money. Oh,
Ah.
and if they try charging these ships for
Right.
going through the Strait of Hormuz, that
Mm-hmm.
money will be deducted and sent to deducted from that money and sent to to the people, to the companies that are having to pay it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
this is going to cost them financially big time, you know.
That's good.
And because I don't know if it's Qatar or uh it's
Oman?
no, either UAE or Qatar
Oh,
have control of the money,
right,
and they will, or they have access, because
right,
but they've apparently traced down more any of their money that they had, and now Iran is at the beck and call of all these countries. So
that's
they can't
good.
financially, and we're talking, when they say they're going to repay these people, we're talking, every time they fire a rocket or something like that, they're going to have to pay hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions even in fines,
Right,
you know, and it's going to come directly out of their money. They're not getting any money from these groups until they've signed an agreement. That's the thing.
right. Mm-hmm.
And all of these Middle Eastern countries have signed on board. That even includes if they bomb Israel.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
yeah. So they're not going to have the money to be paying Hezbollah and the Houthis.
Yeah, Houthis or
Yeah.
Hamas. Yeah,
Yeah, or Hamas even. Yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Uh uh
That's good.
so yeah, this looks like it's a, but apparently because he was fixing to tonight, as he said, as a matter of fact, right up until just, I mean, it was like he had just done an interview that morning. He said he's going to bomb the shit out of them.
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
within 2 hours of that interview, they had called him and agreed to this. And
Right.
so I think either Qatar or UAE has sent envoys there to get their signatures on this agreement. So,
Right.
and then there will be a final agreement, or to get their approval on it, and then they'll sign the agreement within the next, he says, very shortly to be announced. So yeah, uh and he says it's real simple. And the other thing is he also said, it's looking like we're probably going to have to take Carg Island too.
Oh, nice.
And
Cool.
once he said that, uh yeah, the two airmen in the Apache gunships
Yeah, that
are
was the
alive
other
and
thing.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
and by the
that was
way,
it.
they were picked up by an unmanned
Unmanned
boat.
boat. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. First
Which I
time
thought
in
was
history.
interesting. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And that was the catalyst. That was the beginning of that's what started the bombing campaign that
right.
because we fired missiles, and uh had a bombing campaign. I thought I heard today somebody mentioning B-52. So
Yeah,
uh they hit quite a bit. I know there was one report where they were showing uh uh the bombs going off there in Iran. The other
yeah.
thing is if they keep the internet on, a lot of these people are going to see just exactly how bad off the IRGC and the Iranian
The
government
siege.
are. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah, how besieged they are, and this may be their point that shortly they'll rise up and take down the regime.
I hope so. That would
You
be
know,
good because I
now
think that
now
should be
going
the
with
old,
that,
yeah,
going with that, I heard an interview in a podcast with uh, Jeff
Jeff
Dunham,
Dunham. Yeah,
who, by the way, confirmed he is a conservative.
right. Mm-hmm.
We all thought it, and he
Yep.
confirmed it. But the podcast he was on, and I was surprised when not only that he was on it, but I was surprised that I agreed with the host on quite a few things.
Right. Oh boy.
Bill Maher.
Oh yeah, he's kind of r-
He
seen the
brought up
light.
a point. He brought up a point. One, he's like, if we're going to do this, we need to pound them into the ground. We should have gone on at least another 2 weeks. And I agreed with him on that. He
Right.
also said our timing was piss poor. We should have gone in there in January before they killed the 30 or 40,000. We should have gone
Right.
in there in support. He says, and as I've been saying all along, it was another Bay of Pigs. It was the
Uh-huh.
same thing we did at the end of the first war with Saddam Hussein, in Kuwait.
Right.
You know,
Right.
we left we left the
We
oh what
left them in power.
well not just that, but we left the what is that group up there in the we're sort of
ISIS.
our no, this was I'm talking about Persian Gulf 1.
Oh, okay.
The
Oh,
our allies that we had
oh
there
yeah, the Northern Alliance.
no, no. There is a minority group of people that live in I think
Oh, the
Turkey,
Kurds.
the Kurds. See,
Yeah.
we were supposed to support the Kurds in taking down Saddam Hussein, and we
Right.
left them hanging, and they ended up getting massacred
Right.
up
Hmm.
there. And we did the same thing here with the Iranians. The Iranian people. Yeah,
Yeah,
I,
you're right,
I, I've
Mike.
never liked Bill Maher per se.
Yeah.
To me, he's always stoned. He was stoned on
Oh
this show,
yeah, yeah.
but he had some really good points, and I thought, a lot of them had to do. And it is like Jeff Dunham says. He says, "Well, talking with you," he says, "There's," he says, "you have common sense," and like they said, they're politically on opposite ends of the spectrum, but they
Yeah.
could sit down. And he brought up Charlie Kirk,
Right.
and he talked to, he said, Jeff Dunham says, sometimes I'll watch your show, and he says, I go to bed, and he says, you just piss me off. He says, then there's other times, he says, I agree with you 100%. He says, so I never judge you by what is said on your show, and he
Mm.
brought up, that Degrassi guy and about God and all this
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
He
Neil.
says, and he says, I've noticed you guys have backed off. He says, yeah, because the science is starting to prove that maybe, there obviously is, it looks like there's probably something out there that's bigger than us,
Uh-huh.
which coming from Bill Maher was quite, you know, for a guy who's supposed to be an atheist, it was quite
Right.
and even Degrassi, what I do here. Okay, I bumped something and brought up something over here, but yeah, so it was a good interview. So if you get a chance, it was an
Good.
hour long. It was interesting, had some really good points. Uh, you know, he said as far as, he doesn't agree with a lot of Donald Trump stuff, but he says, I went there and he says I had my list of stuff. He says when I asked these questions, he says he didn't scowl at me. He didn't, I refused to answer. He looked at me, he answered me and gave his answer. He says it wasn't a bunch of diatribe. He gave me a straight up answer. I didn't necessarily agree with all of his answers, but
Hmm.
it doesn't mean that he didn't answer me. And he answered
Right.
me from his point of view and what says, but he never looked down at me, never treated me bad. He says, that was that was quite the thing, he says. So he says, like I said, I don't agree with, or like he said, he didn't agree with Donald Trump on a lot of stuff, but on certain things, he said, but when it comes to this war, he says, his intentions are really good. He said, but if we're going to do it, we need to do it.
Yep.
And that's been the
Mhm.
one redeeming thing that Bill Maher's always had. He's a bit of a libertarian,
Yeah.
and he's always been supportive of the military, not
Hmm.
necessarily of war, but of the military, you know.
Right.
And he brought up another point. He says, "My friends all say, oh, you've turned to the dark side. You've turned." He says, "You've changed." He says, "No, I haven't." He says, "I'm still." He says, "You people are no longer liberals." He says, "You don't understand what liberals are." He says, "I'm still the same liberal person I always was. But the Democrats are no longer that. They
Yep.
become socialists and they become so far to the left that nobody could tolerate them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's right. So what else is going on? Well, here in Colorado, we just had, well, a couple weeks ago, we've got a new chairman of the GOP, and it's only been 2 weeks, and already our own party is suing him. Don't you just love it when your own party, feeds on itself? It's like, that's why I left the party here in
Yeah.
Colorado. I'll
Yeah.
still vote Republican, but here in
Well,
Colorado, I mean, we got it's a shit show. It's constant fighting all the time, and it's like, and then we got this idiot or this group called Rhino Watch Colorado, and they're the ones feeding into the fire every few days. I get an email from them saying, "Oh, look who's a rhino now! Oh, look who! Oh,
yeah.
blah."
Well, and that's the thing. That whole and the Republican Party in general has done that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, in order for them to win election, they have to have the unaffiliated or the independents,
Right.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
And uh
Right,
cool
Michael.
cat. Yeah, yeah. I agree with that. I can see that,
Mm-hmm.
But uh but the Republicans, and that's why I haven't always, and if you'll notice the Republicans that do get elected now, the ones that have got the support of Donald Trump, they're not they're not like those rhinos that we had for so long,
Right.
and
Mm-hmm.
slowly but surely the Republican Party, well, it has changed its face. There's still a few uh old dog, holdouts there,
Right.
but like oh well, uh who's the senator that he kept freezing up on, uh
Oh, McConnell.
McConnell. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's from
I don't think
Kentucky.
Thune is much better.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, as a matter of fact, I don't think he's as good. At least McConnell, when he wasn't froze, uh,
Right.
bless his heart. Uh, and I mean
Oh,
that in a
this is
nicely,
his
not.
last term.
Yeah, it is, and it's probably a good thing because I
Well,
don't know
he's
how
in
much.
his 90s.
Yeah, yeah, he'd probably die in office. Yeah, well, he
Yeah,
still may
Glitch
die in office.
McConnell. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and there's a lot of those middle of the roaders that they weren't that. You've got the ultra conservatives,
Yeah.
which the average American person is not an ultra conservative.
No.
And I agree there does need to be term
Yeah.
limits.
Yeah.
Most people like myself, I'm not. There are certain things I'm probably a little liberal on, you
Yeah.
know, but I'm conservatively. I'm religiously, I'm more conservative.
Right.
I tend to, uh, you know, I don't care. And here's the thing: I don't care if you smoke pot. It's not my
Yeah.
thing. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care if you're gay. It's not my thing. I
Mm-hmm.
think you're wrong on both counts. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to condemn you for it because that's not my job.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
right.
as a result, maybe that makes me liberal. Now, do I believe that they should be dancing around naked in the streets like they've been doing? Hell no.
No. No.
That's where I become a conservative.
Right.
But, you know, what goes on in your bedroom, just like I didn't go out there and sit on the bench and me and Judy pull our shirts off and start playing tonsil hockey on the park bench, you
Right.
know? That's just
Mm-hmm.
and I don't expect that kind of shit from the gays either.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know.
And I think what Donald Trump, and this is why Donald Trump got so much flack from the Republicans and the Democrats, is he is trying to change the culture of DC. You
Hmm.
know, his thing was drain the swamp, and he's tired of the same old, you know, bullshit that the Republicans have been doing for years and years and years, and that's why they hated him. Like, because Liz Cheney hated him because he went after her dad, Dick Cheney, over
You're
the
right,
Iraq
Michael.
War,
Yeah.
and he's trying to clean up the swamp and get rid of the bureaucracy, and it's the bureaucracy that's killing this
Well,
government.
he brought up something. He brought up something today. He'd had a news. See, he didn't have any real planned events, but he brought up he signed a bill. I guess they're going to stop the the offshore windmills, and the
Yes,
building of
that's what
those.
I heard. Yeah,
And but during that time period, somebody was asking about the person running for mayor of D.C. Uh, is a Mondani type person, is a socialist communist.
right,
It says what will happen if that were to happen. It says real simple. DC will go back to being under federal control the way it was for years. We'll just
right.
take it back over.
There you go. And speaking of that, how about there have been shenanigans going in uh, Charles neighborhood down there in New Jersey where ICE agents are being assaulted down there at the Delaney Center where there was some idiot yelling, "You're dead, and your family's dead." Well,
Oh,
that guy is now under investigation, and
well, there's been a bunch arrested there, and it's just not some idiot. There's a bunch of idiots down there, and
oh yeah,
unfortunately, I saw
oh, it's
something
a
the other
lot of
day.
Antifa people there too.
Oh yeah, well those are all paid agitators, every damn
Yeah.
one of them.
Hmm.
And that's the thing. All these paid agitators are brought in. These are part of the George uh,
Soros.
Sorrell. These are all part of his stuff. You
Yeah.
know
Hmm.
that old bastard. Somebody. We need to hire Mossad. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I
Well,
really think
unfortunately, he has a son that's going to take over the family business.
there's not a problem. I don't have a problem with taking out a whole genetic line there. That whole lineage. Just take them all out.
Well, here's what Trump's doing right now. He's using the RICO statutes to go after Soros and a few other people that are,
Yeah,
paying for these
I
outside
know. I know.
agitators, which is
And
good if we
and
could bring down
yeah,
that.
it is good. But but what was I going to say? He
I
mentioned
don't know. What were you?
I was talking about he had that press conference today.
Yeah, you had the press
Oh yeah,
conference.
that was taking over DC. That was what it was about. I
Hmm.
I I went ahead and said okay.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yep.
George Soros' son is even worse than him. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
It goes back to if you hate this country, just get the hell out and leave us alone.
Right. Yeah. Uh,
I mean, where's he from originally? Greece or something?
It's from Germany.
Is
He
he
was a
from Germany?
Nazi. Yeah, George Soros was a Nazi sympathizer, even though
Okay,
his father was Jewish. His real name is George Schwartz. Yeah.
okay.
And he changed his name to Soros, which is an anagram. And anyway, yeah, he was a young, he was 8 or 9 years old, and he was the one telling the Nazis, "Hey, these Jews
He
have
was a
some
Nazi youth.
goodies
Yeah,
hidden
yeah,
over." Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
He was
he
a
was
Nazi
in.
youth.
Yep.
Here's a funny thing. I noticed that the UK or yeah, most of the British English speaking countries that are part of the Commonwealth,
Commonwealth. Yeah.
they haven't forgot what World War II is about. for the most
Yeah.
part. They still recognize their World War II veterans. They recognize those special days, even World War One, like Anzac Day down in
Yep.
Australia,
Hmm.
and the Japanese and the Philippines that they fought with against the Japanese Empire. They haven't forgot all that. Our
Yep.
country, they don't teach it anymore. They don't talk about it
Yep.
anymore. It's not, and it's so far removed, but yet
Mhm.
my kids, my boys, well, they do pay attention to stuff like that because
Well,
their grandfather was my dad was a World War II veteran, so they have a lot of respect for that, and I'm a veteran, so uh they and even Paco served in the army, so he's a veteran too.
Oh,
But
by the way, it's Independence Day in the Philippines today. So it's a national holiday. It's not the one on July 4th, 1946. No, this is 1898 when they were liberated from Spain.
from
They
Spain, yeah.
they count that one as Independence Day.
Okay, all right,
And then they
good
became part of the United States. They were a territory, and then they
territory,
were Commonwealth. And
right.
then after World War II in 1946, we gave them their independence.
Well, and I think the main reason for that was they'd earned it
Yeah,
to
they
help
did.
fight
Well,
against
and they
Japan.
fought us for a few years after we kicked Spain out because
Well, yeah, yeah.
we treated him like shit for a while, but not as shitty
Well,
as the Spanish did. But at least we educated him and gave them a second language that they speak, and helped them. Well,
technically a third language.
oh well, they don't speak Spanish there anymore.
Not anymore, but you're talking about the time, we're going back to when their independence from Spain, you
Right?
know, and you said we taught them a language. Well, a lot of them spoke Spanish then as well as their native language, and then we taught them English.
Yeah.
And that
Most of
the
the people that spoke Spanish were the upper echelon Filipinos and the
right,
ones
yeah,
in the
yeah,
major cities. The the commoners or the Indios, those
yeah.
would be the
The,
full blooded
or,
Filipinos.
or as the
They didn't
or as
speak
the
Spanish.
Spaniards used to call them, the peons.
Yeah.
You know,
They had what the Peninsulares, Mestizos, and the
I was in the Air Force,
yeah,
Brian. Did 6 years.
mhm. So yeah, uh, so that's what's going on. Anything else? Hmm, hmm. So not much. We're almost at the end of the show here. I
Yeah.
made it all the way through with no pain this week. Boy, last week, after a half
Oh, I
hour,
know.
God, it was
Yeah,
killing.
yeah.
Yeah, and we got a lot. Oh, you're right, Hungarian. Yeah.
I thought he was Hungarian.
Okay, he's a hunky.
Yeah, I thought he was Hungarian. I didn't think he was German.
Yeah, you're right, Michael. Thank you for that clarification.
Yes. And
Hmm.
that's why I didn't question it, but because I hadn't looked. He's one of those people I could give a shit less about, except
Yeah.
when it comes to
Oh,
him
yeah,
interfering with my
that's right.
country.
After the war, for some weird reason, the Soviets let him go to England, you know, and go to school there, and that
Yeah,
kind of gives me the moment.
yeah,
And
yeah.
how did he get the money to go there? Hmm.
Right, exactly.
Think
Yeah.
he might know where the hidden Nazi loot was, and maybe he bribed some commissar with some diamonds. I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah, Yeah,
You
to
know.
do something to get, because the Soviets didn't let people leave hungry unless
Well,
they were either bribed or they had a good reason to let them go.
yeah, well, look what he's doing for what was then communism. He's destroying this country from within, which
Right.
is what
Mm,
Nikita Khrushchev said what they would do.
right.
And he's I think he's was one of their agents, and you know he was sent here to do that. He was sent to England to do that. He tried to
Yeah.
he
You
broke the
almost
Bank of
wrecked
England.
the, yeah, you almost wrecked the Bank of England.
The
Yep.
Bank of England, yeah.
Yep.
He's
Hmm.
why in the hell we let him in this damn country? I wouldn't know.
Uh, well, and this brings me to another point where I just recently saw where, and it brought another moment. It's like George W. Bush reversed a tradition where we didn't allow Muslims to run for federal office. And then right after 9/11, oh, I think George was trying to curry favor to make us look good. And look at the idiots we got. We got Ilhan Omar, we got Rashida Tlaib, and we got that idiot up in Washington, Jalama Palmapan or whatever, Paul or whatever from India. You know.
I watched that reminds me of the names. I watched one of the versions. I'm a fan of the Arthur tales, things about Richard the First. Either Ivanhoe or the tales of Robin Hood. So I like all those type of movies. And I watched one the other day, and which I think Jamie Foxx played his sidekick, who was a Muslim, or a Moor, and
Mhm,
he's uh he gives him he's Robin Hood saves him, and so he
mhm,
owes him his life. And so he says,
mhm.
"What's your name?" And he goes, "Well, it's Isa Baba do Baba do." He says, "I'll never be able to say that." And he says, "Well, just call me John." So late he says that's what it translates to. Then later on, when they're dealing with, he's meeting up, I think it's when he was with Friar Tuck. He goes to give his name again. He says, how about I just call you John? So that's what we'll call that person up in Washington. We'll just call him or her John or Jane,
Oh, okay.
because you can't remember their name. Because that was so funny because,
Mhm.
that's well, it translates to John. So like, okay, all right. Yeah. So
Well,
if you can't pronounce your name, just remember John.
speaking of translation, we have translated to the end of the show.
That's right.
And we made it a little over an hour. I want to thank everybody in the chat for coming. Hope you enjoyed the programming. Please tell your friends. Let's build this show up. Let's get some more subscribers. And, let's get
Yeah,
this.
if this show finally ever takes off, maybe we can get somebody like Donald Trump to come into our show.
Ooh, that would be cool. And we need to try and get, what's his name? Thaddeus back.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that,
he's always enjoyable. I haven't heard from
mhm.
him we haven't seen him in a while.
That's right. Well, everybody, take care. Have a great weekend. Don't forget my show at Artco Drones and Entertainment and Bill's show. He's going to have a show Saturday.
Saturday.
Take care, everybody, and good night.
Good night, folks.
Later, folks.
Don't forget, tune in to Artco Drones and Entertainment live stream for more exciting content every Friday night at 5 p.m. Mountain Time.